The man that suicided on live TV, he suicided to create awareness of injustice within the law system. In the year 2023, this injustice continues in Australia within the court of law and more than likely in a multitude of other countries as well. This video exemplifies how the legal system has let innocent people down. I will briefly inform you about the Americans' case. Then give you a brief insight into an Australian case. Although the two cases differ, the same lack of proper process within the legal system are similar and need to be rectified. Injustice from trial. American legal system up until 1987. Robert Bud Dwyer, the man who killed himself on television in 1987. Robert was the acting Pennsylvania treasurer who was convicted of bribery in 1986. All throughout the investigation and trial, he swore that he was innocent. However, having worked in the field of law for many years prior to this treasury job, he knew that once he was jailed, he would be just another one of the innocents, convicted people who would be soon forgotten and become another statistic. He was to spend 55 years in jail and pay a $300,000 fine, feeling that the law would continue to convict many more innocent people with whom he knew some had been executed in the past. So he felt that he needed to make a stand to the degree that would make the entire population of America sit up and take notice in effort to get the law changed. The following narrative explains what brought Robert into this situation. Several state workers had overpaid millions of dollars in taxes to the Federal Insurance Contributions Act. Upon Pennsylvania officials learning this fact, they searched for the most suitable company to give this multi-million-dollar contract to. The company employed would set how much reimbursement each overtaxed worker would receive. CTA, Computer Technology Associates, company based in California, but had a proprietor, of which was a native to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, was the bidding winner and became the awarded contract. An anonymous memo received by Governor Dick Thornburgh of Pennsylvania asserted that Robert Bud Dwyer was one of a few people that received a cut from this deal. This memo arrived months after the contract had been awarded. An investigation into the claims began, which eventually led to Robert Bud Dwyer being charged and convicted of mail fraud, 5 counts, racketeering, 4 counts, and perjury, as well as conspiracy to commit bribery. He was told he could lessen his time in jail to 5 years if he fully assisted with the investigation, along with admitting that he was guilty. He was also to resign from his job. Robert, upon initially hearing the accusations, was furious and vehemently denied being guilty. From that time, and right up until the day he suicided, he implored his innocence, and there was no way he was going to admit being guilty, even for a lesser charge. Robert was 47 years old when he held a press conference on January 22, 1987. In his speech, he admitted with a heavy heart that in the past he himself had been a part of the law system that had allowed people to be killed after being found guilty of a crime. He was extremely sorry for his complicity in this law system once he realized a multitude of innocent people had later been proven to not be guilty. Now he found himself unable to clear his own name, which brought to him the realization of the flaws and unfairness of the legal system. His speech is worth watching. It brought tears to my eyes. The link is added in my YouTube descriptions. I am not sure if the American legal system is still having this problem. A new law was introduced since his suicide, however, personally, I do not know if any laws that he was seeking to be changed were. Information into what new law had been introduced after his demise was said to be with regards to live filming procedures, dealing with what to do in circumstances of suicides committed during filming. Therefore, I want to spread this man's suicide message as a reminder to the Americans' legal system of its inadequacies and lack of duty of care towards its citizens, as well as to reach beyond to all countries' legal systems with the same flaws, in hope of a much fairer legal system for all. That was the basics of the Robert Bud Dwyer story. How the legal system has recently let many people down still to this day. Here is one example in the following Australian case.
Australian case, after listening to a convicted person's story. I do not like the word story. To me, it conjures images of fantasy. However, the story relating to experiences of this individual clearly demonstrate that justice was not served. In this case, in the year 2021, this person was denied a right to prove oneself innocent. There was not allowed to be a meeting or a discussion in front of a panel of people whom could have inquired into the legitimacy of the plaintiff's accusations. Firstly, by listening to both sides of the story. Secondly, allowing the accused's information regarding the plaintiff's motives to be investigated, along with evidence of the violent character of the plaintiff towards the accused. There were significant causes to ascertain why the plaintiff would want to give a false testimony. If the accused had been given the opportunity to give more insight as to why this person wanted to accuse them in the first place, true justice would have been the result. Another factor in this case was that it was slotted into the wrong category of justice, such as the accuser is slotted into the family law court when the plaintiff did not qualify to be considered as such a person. However, as far as the law is concerned, the plaintiff's accusation made this category seem appropriate.
This person was jailed directly after undergoing a trial that was based on lies from the plaintiff.
The plaintiff did not have to be present, and the lawyer employed to defend the accused did nothing to defend their client. The client paid the lawyer $10,000 more on top of what he had initially paid, in hope that in doing so the lawyer would take more time and effort to investigate information that would show probable cause for the plaintiff to be lying. Afterwards, the accused kept being stalled by the lawyer, who had his secretary say he was too busy and to call back. He finally was able to talk to the lawyer the night before trial to blatantly be told to get ready to go to jail directly after trial. Since the lawyer knew what the outcome of the trial would be, he ought to have told his client there and then and declined the extra payment. Instead, he accepted the money and stalled further conversation until the night before jailing. No opportunity was given to the accused to clarify initial statement or to add further information which had not been disclosed in the first interview. Why initially the accused would not utter this vital extra information was due to the attitude of the arresting officers, as well as the embarrassment the accused would have to suffer. Along with knowing these officers would not take the matter seriously and would have jeered, laughed and disbelieved the statement. That was the basics of the Australian case. Did the law do their job diligently? Did they even consider for one moment how blindly believing one individual's statement was unjust?
I hope this video goes viral to help change the dastardly attitude of the current law systems, including the lack of proper investigation into dubious claims made against people.
Below is the link that can be found in this video's description area for all people interested in learning more about the man who committed suicide on TV, http://dwyermovie.com/.
Did the law do their job diligently? Did they even consider for one moment how blindly believing one individual's statement was unjust?
The system is set up to incarcerate without proof. We won't believe a word you say. We will repeat, come on, admit it. Heard of coercive interrogation. We'd rather fear life over than find out actual facts. We now have science on our side. We can infiltrate your every second. This is how much power we have to F you over, and if you seek help, they will say it's a mental condition. You can't share your experience with others because it is aligned to only
Your
brain wave frequency. Been doing this for nearly a decade now.